Y'all ain't finished. Y'all ain't finished. Make sure you come ready to go this next week.
How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Are we there? Are we live?
Hey now.
Hey now. There we go.
Radio broadcast today.
The magic button. Sorry about that, folks. You're welcome to the Four Guys in Bar podcast, hosted by ChiefsBlitz.com. I am Nick Athan, along with Mr. Hense Todd, producer extraordinaire. Looks like we're having a few technical issues to start the show, so we will try to get those corrected.
I can hear you. I don't know what happened.
We can hear you.
It's the radio. It's the radio version.
Yeah, your face on screen
your
looks
face
like
is
the kid
frozen.
that
It's like the Chiefs won. How?
He just got caught.
Right, Nick.
He just
like,
got caught taking the last cookie.
Go into the.
All right, let me go to the sponsor.
One me.
First up, boy, what a way to start the show! It's definitely a Monday. Welcome to Four Guys in a Bar again. I'm your host, Nick Athan. Listen, we got some great sponsors here on the show. First up, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, he is your one-stop shop. He's a massive Chiefs fan. He's got a lot of listings. He knows his stuff. And he helped Emily and I with his team find our dream house, and he was terrific. Held our hands. Even when it was bleak, he said, "Don't worry, you're going to have that house," and he delivered the goods. So if you want the same experience, and I know everybody knows a realtor, and everybody's got a friend who's a realtor, trust me, Eric Haynes is your person. Give him a call at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
That is correct. Another proud sponsor is my incredible, amazing wife, Emily Athan. If you are looking for new health insurance for you, your family, or your small business, there's nobody who understands the market better than my incredible wife, Emily. Listen, open enrollment is here until December 15th. You have 13 days left to decide on a government option, or you can get with Emily and she can provide to you an opportunity for a private option that is lower deductibles, nationwide PPO, and a whole bunch of goodies. But either way, she can help you, whether it's a government option or a private option. Listen, you got a lot of choices out there. December's the month to buy, so you can have your policy ready for January 1st. Give her a call at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
That's right. And our newest sponsor, Resell Electronics.
Emily.
Get the best deals on new and used electronics at Resell Electronics. TVs, laptops, Apple Watches, cameras, cell phones, plus so much more. And if you're into gaming, we carry new gen as well as vintage consoles. Resell Electronics in Independence.
That's right. Resell Electronics. If you are looking for the one-stop shop when it comes to your overall experience of buying electronics, you want to give them a call at 816-886-7285. They will buy all your electronics, and they've got two great locations, Nolan Road and 40 Highway. So if you're looking for that great Christmas gift, you're going to get a great discount when you mention, hey, Chiefs Blitz or Bowtie Sports. So check them out. Check out their website at Resell Electronics with a C. That's resellelectronics.com. Resell indeed.
Electronics.
Electronics.
Hey, I was in a meeting earlier. And
no excuse. There's no excuse on this show. There's no excuse. We're about winning.
Execute.
My bad, guys.
Push the button. Barry Stanton, push the button.
All right. So do we know that we're live?
We are live.
I see the stream didn't end, so I guess we are live.
Lou Montagna and Andre Tillman are joining us.
The comments kind of stopped. So
the comments got stuck too. So again, I know StreamYard's been having some issues, so we're trying to work through them. So hopefully the comments will come back as well.
Let's go StreamYard.
But hey, it is what it is. It's the post-holiday blues. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know it was great for us. It was a great show on Friday as we talked the Chiefs. Just find another way to win, Chiefs, and they were out there and they took care of the Raiders. A little luck, but you know what? Preparation meets opportunity, as I say. And the Chiefs are still 11-1. Buffalo Bills won last night. They looked really, really good. Hate to admit it, folks, but they look like a really good team. But anyway, guys, first off, before we get going, how was the rest of the weekend? Some great college basketball, some great college football over the weekend, and a very weird day of football on Sunday.
I want to give a shout out to Ruben, man. He said he was rooting for my guys, man. I appreciate it because I wasn't. That pissed me off, man. I was not so much mad about the team because I love where my team is at, but just horrible calls, Lou.
And for those who missed our pregame show, our pregame back and forth, Lou and Andre went into a match cage and talking about the officiating in the NFL or college football. And of course, Lou combated that with it happens in every sport. So, hey,
every sport, every season, every game, there's always going to be blown calls, missed calls. You got to roll with it. Yeah, it's horrible when it happens. But, again, they will show many replays where you see in real time, it happens in an instant. And somehow they mark the ball properly. Somehow they catch a particular penalty that maybe you didn't see when you were watching the game with a naked eye. So,
somehow the ball magically moves to the pylon. Somehow it moves up 5 more yards.
You can complain about it.
I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Hey,
did it happen over the weekend?
You gotta. Hey, there's plenty of time. You play 60 minutes, 150 plays, however many are run during the course of a game. You got to execute, man. Just
execute, man.
Roll with it.
Dirty hits happen over the weekend.
Well, I seen a lot of that, and they didn't miss it.
And it's a lot of fights happen over the weekend. If you watch college football, stuff like that.
Yes.
So, just in the NFL is a dangerous sport.
Yes, we were sort of in a shelter in place situation here over the weekend. Right. I think I'm going to be venturing out for the first time since Thursday after this show. Yeah, kind of ran out of stuff to eat, so it's pretty important.
How much snow do you have on the ground?
Trip. I don't know. I stopped counting. It's to the point now where later today, they say something like we're expecting 3 to 5 inches of snow, which maybe about a week ago would have been oh God, 3 to 5 inches of snow. Now it's whatever. We had 2 feet on between Thanksgiving night and Friday morning, and it just continued the entire weekend. And that's the weirdest thing, and they were showing last night in the game where they said Tirico and Collinsworth, they stay at one of the bigger hotels in Buffalo, and they had camera there, and there's nothing. But you go 10 minutes south to where the stadium is, right, closer to us, it was, you saw it. So yeah, it depends on where the wind blows. It's the cold weather over the warm lake.
Nothing better than snow in a football game. Nothing in my opinion. I absolutely love it when it's coming down and they've got to go out there and get the blow dryer and go out there and brush off the lines and the numbers and the elements. It was really weird watching that game because it was the big over the top angle, you really couldn't see the snow, but when they got to the field, man, it was just sheeting down. It was just, I miss the good old days. The frozen tundra, the gladiators of the day and of the times.
As long as Nick is sitting in his fireplace warmth in front of his TV. No. Oh yeah, I miss those snow games.
I do. I miss those snow games when I had my fake fireplace. Yeah, I was allergic to wood burning.
Let's get into some games. Let's get into.
Boy, you funny with that.
What you have for us, Luke?
Here we go. Music, maestro, please. Let's go. The weekend 6-pack. Without further ado, yes, it was in college football rivalry weekend, right? And then it turned into plant your flag day for about every rivalry out there, whether it was Ohio State and Michigan or Arizona State, NC State and North Carolina. I mean, just everywhere across the board. It just seemed like Arizona State. The damn mascots got into it. It was just a free-for-all after these games where people were planting the flag. So do we blame Baker Mayfield for all of this? Back in the day when he was playing for Oklahoma, they go into the horseshoe. I'm pretty sure Nick Bosa was on that team. And Baker took the OU flag and put it, in the middle at Ohio State. And now it's just look at this. Almost every single rivalry game. And
That's
some
dope,
weren't
though.
even
I love
rivalries where Houston and BYU got into it. But huge fines to both the Big Ten schools, $100,000 each for what happened. I mean, cops had pepper spray out, and it it seemed like every one of these rivalry games there was some sort of fisticuffs,
keyword rivalry,
some sort of shenanigans at the end of the game. So you want to plant your flag, a whole new meaning to, I guess, plant your flag. It depends on where your point of view is. Plant your flag can mean
don't stomp on the logo.
But that's not cool. I mean, this takes you back to
high school days.
T.O. took the ball out to the star and set it down, and
it took me back when I seen it. It took me back to playing for Olathe North and also Southeast. Southeast and Basale had the rivalries. You know what I mean? Everything happens. Bring
on the smoke. Bring on the smoke, man. I want all that. Bring the smoke. I want it. Shit, I want it. You gotta earn it though.
Gotta earn
it. Shit. If you don't like me pointing my fork, my logo on your logo, do something about it on the field.
Well, the big takeaway is this. To me, is that one of the big complaints across the country among some I guess sections of fans worried about these rivalries would be lost, or these players making all this money and transfer portal, and you just got a bunch of mercenary players that the passion would be lost. Well, the silver lining here is that the passion certainly is not lost, and maybe they just need a little bit of training on how to act after a game. But,
the problem is, though, I mean, these guys are paid athletes now,
right?
And I mean, there's no recourse for them to fine them or take money out of their pockets. And that's
Ruben said never duck the smoke. He said never.
Yeah, never duck the smoke.
No, hell no, bro. If the Chiefs and Baltimore, Chiefs and Bengals, it's rivalry there. If I see that type of commotion, I'm lit. I'm ready to watch this game.
Yeah, we saw that with Justin Tucker and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, well, there's no flag planting going on in the NFL. I mean, it's a little different. This is just because of the fan bases are so invested in a lot of these, and some of these because of the fact that the proximity of the schools. That it's a year-round deal. I mean, in this area, it's no joke. Michigan hates Ohio. Ohio hates Michigan, and that's it.
Right.
Alabama and Auburn. I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Can't take the emotion out of the game.
People will get fired over this, and that takes us into our number 2 of the 6-pack. Is Ryan Day. The dude is 66-10 as a head coach at Ohio State. Unfortunately, he's 1-4 against the school from up north, and those 4 have come consecutively. Now, especially this year, where you have, Ohio State, arguably, one of the best teams in the country, been top 2 or 3 the entire year. The only loss was at Oregon by 1 point coming into this game. 21-point favorites. It is the school up north. They've been struggling to score points for Michigan, and they struggled to score points again the other day. Yeah. And this guy, again, silver lining is not being one of the top seeds. In other words, having the opportunity to be the Big Ten champion. You have to play the first round. So we're assuming they still get into the playoffs.
Sure they do.
If they're like the number 5 seed, you're looking at the bracket. Yes, you get to play at home. right? You have a home game in the first round. You don't get a bye, but you're home. You play at home against.
Bring Boise State to
bring
in Boise State. I want to see that game.
In comparison, and then the next game would be even easier than, say, if you were the 1 seed, got a bye, and now all of a sudden you're playing like Georgia your first game or somebody like that. So, but in terms of the Buckeyes and Ohio State, if he doesn't win the national championship this year, and even if he does, there's probably still people in and around that program that are thinking, we got to get rid of this guy.
They won't care if they win it. If they win the national championship, they're not going to care.
Which is insane because, again, he'd get hired immediately. But that's how crazy it is between these two schools. And just the fact that Harbaugh had his number for 3 years and now his understudy.
Yeah, but he didn't have the number before that. It took Harbaugh, what, 7 years to beat him?
Well, Day wasn't there for all. He's only been there for 5.
So it took him 2 years to beat them, and then he beat him 3 in a row.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So,
but again, they don't know. That's not.
He's not the same coach as Harbaugh.
That's not the way it goes. We're Ohio, they're Michigan, and there you have it.
You got to play your best against
you talk about. But the last thing on this game, you talk about execution. Now, again, you say what you will about him. All right. 2 red zone interceptions by Will Howard.
Yeah.
Transferred in from K-State.
Brought in his old K.
And has had an amazing season, fought off what looked like was a concussion early in the game and came back and played. And they also missed 2 field goals under 40 yards. Now, again, it was cool, but, the weather shouldn't have been, an impact on those. But, yeah, it was a wild weekend in college football. None wilder than at the Horseshoe. 13-10. I think there was only 3 points scored in the second half. So, yeah, that was definitely old-time Big Ten football. Just for you, Nick.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
I love it.
Let's go to number 3. Coach was asking about the Bengals and shootout in the NFC North. Seriously? Pittsburgh got in a shootout and somehow was able to win.
Crazy.
What is happening here? The smash mouth Steelers who lets, Russell throw a few moon balls and we're going to run the ball. Russ turned back the clock to maybe his first, 2-3 years in Seattle, over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Steelers only rush for 100 yards. They go for over 500. Now, again, all due respect to the
guy. That's what it is. Huh?
All due respect to Cincinnati, but I think if your offense is having some issues, go play the Bengals. And that is, we're talking about
that's the recipe for success.
I just don't know what's happened there. I mean, they've lost some players. I get it, but wow.
It's simple.
JB been playing out of his mind. And I'm like,
so the question on this one is, is Russ going to continue this? Is this going to be one of those we never saw this coming?
I seen it coming.
Oh, come on.
I seen it coming.
You are the greatest prognosticator in the world if you said you saw this coming.
After the fact,
what would you that this was coming when you didn't even start the season as the quarterback?
Hence's crystal ball is a rear view mirror. Okay,
I will give you your space.
I saw it coming because I'm talking about the Bengals. I saw the Bengals destruction coming.
No. I asked about the Steelers and Russell Wilson. Forget about the Bengals.
No, did you see Russell Wilson playing this well?
Yeah.
That's the question.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, fine. If we're on the same page.
Yeah, man, he didn't see nothing. Well, I seen it.
Dude, I was worried about you.
I said Russell Wilson was going to get it done.
Of course, you also said Odell Beckham Jr. would have 700 yards.
We're not talking about old news, Nick. We ain't talking about old news.
2 meals you owe me.
New news, sir.
I know.
2 meals you owe me.
I know, man. I got you.
Smokehouse barbecue. I'm coming up this month. You're taking me
I think that's copyrighted to a couple of brothers. I think.
I know. I said. He said his own.
And not you two. I'm talking about the Kelseys.
Yeah, but again, yeah. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that coming at all.
They exposed right now.
I mean, do we see this?
Is it the Bengals defense? Is the Bengals defense?
Well, absolutely. I think that's a big part of it. But can we see? I mean, is this Steelers team going to be different? Does this give you any more reason to suspect that they can go in to a game against Buffalo or Kansas City.
Absolutely.
But you know what's fascinating about this? Their star wide receiver again caused them a penalty.
Gotta love George. George
Pickens
loves him some George.
Pickens loves himself more than he loves his team. Even the head
I'm
coach.
not gonna let you say that. He loved playing football.
He loves playing football.
You see my boy there? Bow top. That's Bo's boy.
He certainly loves.
Bring him to the Chiefs.
He certainly believes number 14
in the postseason that could really haunt them. But what they're doing is, I think, they didn't get 100 yards rushing. Their defense was dominant at times, but terrible at other times.
I had him for 102, Nick.
Okay, sorry, 102.
But can we get some love?
It's shocking
TJ,
to me,
man.
and
that pass rush is phenomenal.
They've got some tough games coming up, including the Chiefs and a couple of other NFC games.
They do. They've got the Ravens again, so
it's going to be tough.
And they got to play. I mean, they already lost to the Browns. They got to play the Browns again. So it's not. They hadn't played any divisional games before they played the Ravens. So this is just they've played 3 now. So they've got 3 more division games. Everybody else.
Give TJ Watt some love. TJ.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, I mean they just kind of plug and play some of these edge rushers.
Harris is looking good too. He's starting to make a name for himself.
So we'll see. The only thing though, and Joey Porter Jr. He had himself a L'Jarius Sneed game. Mm-hmm. He got called for holding or interference, had to be like 6 times, because I'm flipping back and forth between that and the Chargers and Falcons. And just every single time he was singled up against either Higgins or Chase.
Right.
Flag. I mean, he likes to play it physical. He's that type of guy. Yeah. But it was after a while, hey, the refs obviously are calling that. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. You will see how it goes in the play.
Crazy, ain't it, though, Lou?
All right, let's go, Coach. I still have you in mind here.
Let's go.
So for this one, we'll come back to the latest episode of Touchdowns Are Better Than Field Goals. We go to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Gosh,
absolutely, and the kickers were on parade. Ryland for Arizona had 5 field goals. 5. Romo had 3 for Minnesota. And obviously, again, in touchdowns are better than field goals. There wasn't a touchdown scored in the game till we got to the 4:43 mark in the third quarter. Okay, yes. So we've played 26 minutes before there's a touchdown. And that was the one to Marvin Harrison Jr. So Arizona had the lead by like 10. Minnesota comes roaring back, but Arizona only scored 1 touchdown. Minnesota scored 2, and they're kicking field goals, and they're just ridiculous.
Go for it, God damn!
So a bit you got to on one hand, you've got Kyler, and he kind of threw some questionable picks.
Oops.
Yeah, he did.
And of all people, Sam Darnold lit it up in the second half. When they had to have it, Sam was coming through. So I don't know. Minnesota did this a few years ago with Kirk Cousins, where they had been winning a bunch of 1-score games. And I think we'll probably be talking about that in terms of the Chiefs later. But, they just seem to have that charm right now. I don't know if they can even get out of their own division, because you got the Packers and the Lions. But again, this just in, touchdowns better than field goals.
It was a particular play on 4th when they went for the field goal instead of, it was 4th and 2, and they ended up kicking the field goal. It was like, we got the momentum, go for it. We got Kyler, you got Trey, Marv, you got Wilson, go for it. But they still for the field goal. Honestly, guys, when they still for the field goal, I was like, cool. Our defense been playing exceptional. It been playing pretty good. Been playing pretty good. So
yeah, I think Olsen was on that during the broadcast as well. Greg Olsen was you got to go for it in that position. And again, hey, the coaches get paid to make those decisions. Gannon's normally been pretty good with those. So hey, it didn't work out in this particular game. The good news is they're in the NFC West, so they're only a game back. So,
shout out to the Niners, man. Big up to the Niners, man.
All right, next one. Here we go. The big one in Baltimore. Yes, Nick, the game was played in Baltimore against the Eagles. So here we go. So this was This was almost like it felt like a playoff game. The atmosphere, everything around it. Of course, you got Nance and Romo, and I'm sure there's people that come down on both sides of that. It could be very annoying at times, and sometimes they kind of have an historical call. But
I don't like watching games with Romo, Colin.
At the time, you had probably, the two front runners for MVP on either team. You had Lamar on one side, Saquon on the other. Philadelphia's kind of found their identity in how they're running the ball, and offensive coordinator has gone away from Kellen Moore has gone away from being so pass happy to kind of leaning into the strength of their team and that offensive line. And of course, this generational running back, if you would. But still, Baltimore kind of had their way early on. And I just wrote this in quotes, and I'm sure every Ravens fan is yelling this. Justin, what the Tucker? His new nickname. Justin, what the Tucker?
Remember I said Justin Tucker ain't been the same since that incident.
Yeah, absolutely. Karma coming back to get him.
He's an opera singer, and he's just not hitting high notes on the football field as a kicker, too.
So he made those field goals, man. It's a whole different discussion, right? If he made those field goals,
absolutely.
Here, I'll give you a great stat.
An extra point. Now, they were longer kicks, but I think even Belichick had said this. He goes, whenever we played them, he wasn't like a kicker that would fade the ball or draw the ball.
Yeah.
Every kick was just dead center down the middle. Yeah. So I don't know if there's maybe some kind of injury that they're not talking about. Now, again, any little thing can tweak it, how the whole operation. There's something fundamentally going on. It's like a golfer
I'm going to give you a fun
fact. Loses their swing.
Okay, I'm going to give you a fun fact. In the 5 losses, the Ravens have lost by 22 points. That is the exact same number of points that Justin Tucker has missed.
Right, and he took full capability. He said after the game, "It goes that loss is on me." If he would,
some of the other losses were on him too.
Absolutely, right. But if he's accurate, But again, it's not like it's just some guy. It's Justin effing Tucker that for the last 10 years, or however long it's been,
one of the greatest to kick the ball
ever,
one of the greatest to boot
ever. Right?
Yeah, man.
But here's the thing. Here's where I came in on this is where stats are for liars, right? Or for losers. Either way, stats lie, stats are for losers. Baltimore, first downs 24-17. Baltimore rushing 166 to 140. Baltimore passing 206 to 112. Time of possession, Baltimore 34 to 26. They lose the game. So it's situational football. It's playoff types.
At its best.
None of those numbers mean anything except for fantasy football.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you just got to win.
That's why Lamar Jackson's never been to a Super Bowl.
That's why I stated like with the Chiefs real quick that game. I said stats don't mean nothing on paper. It means nothing on paper.
Right. Now it can kind of show you some trends at some point, in terms of the Chiefs, and we'll talk about that too. But again, it was just playoff atmosphere, great. I mean, again, old fashioned, smash mouth. And how about Cooper DeJean? How about that stick? That stick that he put on the King. Oh my goodness,
pretty.
that was felt all over the league. I think
that was Atwater Okoye moment.
I mean,
would you say Atwater?
The thing is, if you look at it in slow motion, it's like a textbook. This is a teaching tape for every little kid learning how to play football. He got there with his shoulder. He wrapped, he grabbed jersey or pants or whatever, and he drove him back. So that was done.
That was
Cooper
awesome.
DeJean.
That was the defensive moment that will be remembered in the 2024 season.
Half of the exciting whites in Philly.
Okoye slipped. Okoye didn't get hit. It was just a bad angle, and Atwater hit on bad angle. It was, but yeah.
All right. So, last one. Again, last night we had the snow in Buffalo. You had the snow game in Cleveland, a week ago Thursday. So it's just beautiful to watch, I think, in some cases. But last night was a little bit different because it was so slick, right? and people were slipping except for guys like James Cook, right? Where he just seemed like he had the real cleats on and everybody else was like wearing skates or wearing like basketball shoes with no cleats. Everybody sneaked all over the place. But the biggest takeaway I take from because you can dissect what Josh Allen did or what he meant to the team and so forth. But just watching the entire thing, looking at that picture with McDermott, this team looks like they're enjoying every moment of every single game. And whenever they get together and you look at the San Francisco side and it looks like they went to work and it was a shitty day. Yeah. And it just, we can't, it was just like, we have to be here. And it was, you don't want to say a team was going through the motions, but I think maybe they're going to.
I wrote about that this morning.
This is it.
Yeah. I wrote about that very thing this morning. Not seeing that picture. I didn't see that till just now, where it's just a matter of the Bills are having fun.
Yeah.
They're having fun playing football. Listen, they're not running an overly complicated defense or an overly complicated offense. They're just executing better and they're having fun out there. And the Chiefs at the moment are not having fun. And that's the difference. That's why the Bills have a good chance to dethrone the Chiefs this year.
Have some fun, guys.
Have some fun.
And I feel like this me being a photographer, looking at this shot. Yeah, it's a great shot. It looks.
It is a great shot.
But it does. They gotta enjoy the season because when it comes to when they play the Chiefs again,
that's gonna be the case.
It ain't gonna be us. It ain't gonna be no fun. It ain't gonna be no sleeping a maggot because Patrick Mahomes is not going to forget what they happened on that when they ran into.
I think the Bills have the Bills have discovered their secret sauce.
Let me ask you this though, Nick, real quick. Since Diggs left, I think honestly, maybe it's me. Just my theory on it. I think by Diggs leaving, Josh Allen's a whole different player now.
He is a different player.
Well,
he's having fun again.
Diggs and Davis too.
Yeah. By them leaving, it's like the Diva left, and now the Bills are having
Diva
fun.
A and the Diva C left, and that's why they're playing well.
I don't think he feels any pressure to get the ball to any one player.
There you go.
So that's the big part. That's the silver lining. Now, the other thing is if you don't have a potential go-to receiver, now hopefully Amari Cooper is that guy.
Right.
But let's go. That was the 6-pack for this week.
Great job, Lou.
Again, we still don't have any toppings for that
it's
pizza.
gluten-free.
So maybe we're just going to roll with it. We're going to just roll with the beauty of the plain slice. So let's go. Drink your beer.
Have cheese on the pizza.
Have your cocktail. Yes, it is. Dre.
Yes, it is.
My bad.
All right, I want to take up a couple of comments and questions that we had before we do the next segment. Paul Lawrence. So can you guys talk about the end of the Chiefs game? Did the refs make the correct call? Other fan groups think Raiders got hosed at out of a 55-yard field goal attempt. That they didn't get. The rule was under 2 minutes with the clock stopped, that the illegal quote unquote formation was the correct call. The ball was, which makes it a live play. If it was a false start, then the whistle stops. Now the referee at the top of the video didn't signal anything until after the ball had been recovered by Nick Bolton. So when they reviewed it and they got clarification from the NFL office, and trust me, the NFL office made this decision, not the referees on the field, it was the correct call. So the Raiders didn't get hosed. They had a center who just threw the ball out there, snapped the ball before the quarterback was ready. And the Chiefs, Wharton pulled the quarterback away and Bolton got the football, and the kick of the ball just perfectly landed in his arms. And it was the correct call under the circumstances. So if anybody's complaining about it, contact the NFL league office and have them change the rule.
Right.
But it was called correctly, and the league office made the final call.
And I also think the bottom line here is, again, focus on the call. How about, again, the kid, they were, I think Mitchell Schwartz was talking about this or whatever. They're going like silent count. Usually the guard on one side or the other will tap the center on the leg, and that signifies, okay, we're ready to go.
Which he did.
So whether it was next sound or whatever, and then because of maybe the inexperience of O'Connell in the situation, or you can take the Detroit-Chicago situation as well with a young quarterback. they've got so much going on in their heads. The next thing you know, the ball snap, he doesn't see it because he's looking out towards one of his receivers.
Right.
And all hell breaks loose. So to sit here and then, try to blame it on a call, that's, again, you're grasping for straws.
I got the answer for it, Lou. Go ahead and read this for me, Dick. Go ahead and read. That's the answer right there. Read the top to the bottom. NFL
fans when it comes to terrible calls during the game. NFL fans when it comes to the Chiefs game.
Truth sayer, Bart Simpson.
That's how it is. This is right there. So that's what we get.
Like that one.
Where was the rest of that? There was another part of that graphic that you had thrown up on Sunday, or when was it?
I ain't download that part, but
was there another? Yeah, there was another piece I thought was pretty funny as well.
I mean, listen, guys. When you a winner, when y'all have the Chiefs have reached a level to where they're a franchise, right? Not franchise, but dynasty. I'm sorry, dynasty. You're gonna get that they're winners. They hate on Mayweather. They hate on Tom Brady. They hate on Jordan. It doesn't even matter. They hate on Tiger Woods. It doesn't even matter. The Chiefs made it, and they're gonna be like they winning too much. They're winning absolutely too much, and y'all gonna hear it until they don't.
Yeah,
right. So speaking about winning too much, you can win a lot. But I sponsor here, Mr. Eric Haynes. Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes, with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, there's nobody better than Eric Haynes. He and his team did an incredible job of helping Emily and I find our house. It was a long process. He stuck with us every step of the way. And when things weren't looking good, he said not to worry. He delivered. So if you want the same exact experience, give him a call at 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief.
That's right. Another proud sponsor is my incredible, amazing wife, Emily Athan. Open enrollment is here until December 15th. So if you're looking for a government option, she can walk you through that process, find the best plan for your family. If you want to go a different route, you want to go with a private option with better coverage, lower deductibles, and a nationwide PPO, she is the person to contact. Either way, she'll walk you through them. She'll find the best plan, sign you up, and get you going. So if you're looking for that opportunity, give her a call today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
That's right. And our newest sponsor, Resell Electronics.
Buy a cell phone at Resell Electronics and save up to 25%. Our phones are pre-owned and in great condition. We carry top brands like iPhones and Samsung. Sell us your old phone and we'll offer you cash on the spot. Resell Electronics in Independence.
That's right. Resell Electronics, our newest sponsor. 2 great locations, 1214A South Nolan Road and just down on the other side of the highway on 40 Highway. They've got an opportunity with 2 locations to get all your consumer electronics. They will buy your old stuff. They'll sell you new stuff. And if you tell them that Chiefs Blitz and Bowtie sent you in, you get an extra 10% off on your order. Check them out today on their website, resell with a C, electronics.com.
Resell
Electronics. Let's get right into it, guys. Will we see the old Chiefs defense again? This is a game week. Los Angeles Chargers are coming in at 8-4. The Chiefs are 11-1. They play the Chargers this Sunday night. And a lot of questions for them past 2 weeks against the Carolina Panthers and just now against the Las Vegas Raiders, that the Chiefs defense ain't looking like the old self since the Bills game. So will we start seeing the old Chiefs defense? What you had to say, Coach Drake?
No.
Okay, what you had to say, Lou?
Now, when you say the old, like from earlier this year, from last year, during the playoffs, or which is the
let's go from this point forward.
Okay, so let's say just the way they were playing like 4 weeks ago. All right, I'll answer it that way. I think so. Now it might not be quite as dominant because the lack of depth at corner. But all the other pieces are there, and we've added back Omenahu and Joshua Uche. So you would think just with those 2 guys that the pass rush should definitely be deeper. I don't know how much better it's going to be with those guys, but it's certainly going to be deeper. And Omenahu's versatility, if you would, have been able to play inside, outside, and really whatever they need him to do, I think will elevate the play.
And it did on Sunday.
Or
Friday.
So again, situationally, I think that's the most important thing we have to look at, and not so much do they lock people down or do they might give up a bunch of yards between the 20s, but when it comes down to stopping a team in the red zone, I think they will get back to kind of where they were. Is that going to be enough to win it all? You would hope so, if the offense kind of finds their way. But in terms of the defense, again, it may be a tick off because of the lack of depth at corner, but I think the front end should be a little bit better with the depth that they have now with those two guys, one coming in via trade and the other guy coming back from injury.
Right. Well, I mean, I think for me, this is kind of the point where the young guys took off last year and the year before. We didn't expect that. We didn't expect these, even for the Spags and Reed to put them out there. And, Reed talked about Nazeeh Johnson today and, reminded everybody he's still, a year removed from an ACL. It's just a lack of confidence for him right now. We've seen him perform at a high level in camp. They had high expectations for him. Losing Jalen Watson hurt this team significantly, but I think they can overcome it. I think two things are going to help. I think Hicks is going to play a lot more, and he talked about that today. So I think he's going to have an opportunity, which maybe allows Chamari Connor to play a little bit different role, kind of like what he did a year ago. And if Williams, plays well, that helps. He had his best game. So I think the reason the Chiefs are struggling defensively is the light is on the secondary is because Reed's got the quad injury. He's not 100%. Cook has not recovered fully from his twisted foot a year ago at this time. And they're just not getting to the quarterback. Charles Omenihu should help, but at the end of the day, this is the problem. The problem is they got to get some young guys in there and they got to throw them to the wolves. Andy mentioned it today. I don't have my glasses, so I can't read that. Nick is a solid player. If there's a positive, he's a young guy and needs to keep progressing. I know the coaches have trust in him, so we'll see how things go moving forward. He's earned the right to play more, and I think that's exactly what you're going to see. That's probably the most that Andy Reid has tipped a potential something happening for a game, and there it is. So,
and that's why that's why I've been. And a lot of people said I'm glazing this kid. I'm doing everything else, but I actually sit there and I watch this game a little bit different. So, so I think like Andy Reid said,
one person is telling you you're glazing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Greg says it all the time. You glazing. But I think Jaden Hicks. Only way we're gonna see this old defense is if we start switch some stuff around, man. Yeah. Charles Omenihu coming back. That's gonna be a big, a big plus for the Chiefs, and see what more he can do on the back end of these 5 weeks. And also, I think they need to change out their safety. I've been calling for it. For the beginning of this year, and I've been seeing this kid, where he came out in summer ball, as Lou like to call it. But the kid been playing well, and when he's in, his snaps are very, he's putting up good numbers. What Pro Football Focus is putting out there, the kid is playing very well. So if I'm the Chiefs, like Andy Reid said today, man, hey, the kid is playing good, so we probably gonna see more possibility of him. And I think they need to see more of that. Because if you go back and looking at Cook's tape, I watched it all last night. I sat up till like 2 a.m. I know, watching people play with tackle football. But again, I stayed up and I watched and I put the highlights on Cook. I said, now, you're supposed to run up when somebody's running the ball. You don't supposed to sit there and just let everybody come in and do the tackle. You've got to be that safety. You got to be that safety that let everybody know that, like a Brian Dawkins or, who was the other guy that played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Who was it?
John Lynch.
John Lynch, when he was coming out there, he let people know that, hey, you ain't gonna be running the ball. You're not Brian. Those guys. Eric Berry. Those guys. Them safeties back then, they played in the backfield, but some way they got in the back, up in the back end of the, in the backfield of the offense. So I'm looking for Jaden Hicks to come out and play more ball, guys.
I think on that point, Hense, I think it depends on the defense that's being called too, because they're playing a lot of too high shell. So normally that box safety is the one that comes in almost like an extra linebacker like that you mentioned. So I'm sure that if they're calling that's, I mean, Cook is executing what they want him to do on defense. But it just seems like most of the depth, these tweeners that we have are more safety types than they are corners, like Shamari, like Jaden, these guys, and even Nazi for that, for that perspective. So again, we see it. Joshua has it within him to play well. He just hasn't done it consistently, and that's why he's not the starter, right? So
yeah,
we'll see.
He may start on Sunday night.
Every game is going to be different, and against the Chargers, who's going to get singled up on Lad McConkey? Are they going to play more zone? So it'll be interesting to see how they play it.
So the next question: how big was the return of Charles Omenihu, Dre? I think got a short answer.
I mean, honestly, he came back and they gave him a couple of snaps, but they didn't change nothing on the defense front.
Did you watch the game at all?
I watched it. I watched the game. All right, I watched the game.
Who benefited from Karlaftis and Jones getting sacks? Who was the guy that took off some of those double teams and took some of those assignments?
Did he get to the quarterback?
Yeah, he didn't have to. He was the guy. He was the grunt guy.
I'm just saying, did the quarterback can catch a vibe from that man? Did he get to him? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if he was out there getting pressure,
that's why I go to Luke first. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, man.
Okay, if that's your definition, if the question was, did Charles get a sack?
Did he impact the game?
That's pretty empirical. Okay, you can just look at the numbers. Now, with a guy coming off an ACL to come back less than a year later, and it's his first game back, if he was getting 10 snaps that game, that was going to be a win no matter what. What I saw was a guy that is much further ahead of schedule of a guy that's in that situation, and that as these games progress, when we get to the playoffs, he's going to be in pretty good shape and be able to rock and roll.
Yep.
Maybe not, at 100% if he had never had the injury, but he's going to be damn close. So again, just to have him on the field, I think is huge because, again, the versatility and another rotational guy that actually is a starter that hasn't been here since last, the Baltimore game in the playoffs.
I would say he made a big, I've seen a big difference when he coming back because, the pressure he got up the middle, then he come George Karlaftis coming on the end, got the sack. Then he did it again with, I think Dana got a sack too. Well, I think maybe my
Chris got one. They had what?
Well, Jones had two. I don't recall if Omenihu was on the field for both of those.
He was. He actually, Omenihu got part of that sack.
But if you look at it from that perspective, it's been how many games since Jones had any sacks?
That's what
and then all of a sudden, in this game, he had two. Again, it's not an automatic. Well, Omenihu was in there, so that's why Chris Jones. But
that's basically what I'm saying, guys. I hear all this.
Of course, it helps.
O'Connell looked great. He looked phenomenal. I was like, damn, he's a hell of a quarterback. I didn't see nothing from him. I didn't see nothing. I mean, he was out there though. He's out there like Lou. What you said? He's ahead of schedule. That's great.
Yeah,
he's ahead of schedule. Got a couple snaps. But where's the significant impact you made towards the game? I didn't see it.
Watch. Just do me a favor. On the 3 sacks, I just want you to watch what he does. Okay? So put on your DVR, get the highlights, just watch where he is on the field, what he does to create the open space for those guys.
I'll show. But shout out to Amazon, man.
Yeah, you don't even have to get a DVR. Just
shout out to Amazon. Now I'm going to look that up for you.
Go to the game and just
give me a report. Well, I won't be here Wednesday, but you can give me a report card on Friday.
But I hear you, Dre, but I think the impact made was more not necessarily from a stats perspective, but just the fact that he was on the field and able to hold up in an NFL game for I don't know how many snaps he had. And it'll just continue to get bigger. So I don't know. He didn't have, a bunch of sacks, but I think he contributed for sure.
No,
The only guy that I've seen,
long he was out there, that's fine.
The only guy that I've seen come back in a short period of time was Jamal Charles. I think it was 9 months, and he, in a minute he was 10 months.
I think Jamal was part alien though.
Right.
Jamal Charles is different.
Also, speaking of defense, do the Chiefs have enough glue guys on defense? Because Worthy, not Worthy, but McDuffie, ain't been playing the same, since he ain't been in the slot. They ain't scared to throw at him no more. A lot of teams are actually going at him at a high rate number. So, do the Chiefs have enough glue guys on defense to continue this 5-week stretch and going all the way to the 3P?
So, when you say glue guys, like what you mean, like glue guys?
We're going to lose. I get
guys that help other guys make plays.
Go ahead. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess you're talking about guys like Drew, like Tershawn, Leo. Yeah, some of the the unsung guys that don't necessarily get a lot of stats or a lot of the shine. Now, the reason that Cuffs is getting thrown at a lot more is because he's typically on the number one receiver of the other team, and they're not just going to decide, well, you know what, we're not going to throw to our best receiver because McDuffie's on him. So, yeah, it's just the nature of the game, and I honestly don't think he's playing that poorly. He's not a perfect player. He never was. He does struggle against bigger receivers, and that's just the way it is. On the inside, you typically have smaller, shiftier guys. So maybe that's his strength, but this team needs him to play outside because they don't have a better alternative.
They don't have it.
Problem.
To answer this question, I'm going to say yes, because it's still the same group. They played at a high level. Maybe there's some adjustments that need to be made, but that's going to be from a coaching perspective. I don't think these guys forgot how to play or somehow have an out-of-body experience and can't do it. They're going through a rough stretch. And if they didn't have the last 2 seasons, and even just last year, the alarms would be going off like crazy around the league, more so than they are now. But we have that trust because we saw it over the last 2 seasons where maybe it didn't look like they were playing very well, or there's 3 or 4 teams that look better than them during the regular season or near the end of the regular season. But we've seen them be able to make those adjustments, and all of a sudden the level of play gets ratcheted up when the games mean the most. So that trust kind of gives you that, okay, they're going to get this squared away.
I don't see they ain't got enough.
I say no, because it's one guy that a lot of people ain't giving a little credit is coming in here on Sunday, and that's Lou McCarthy, whatever his name is, number 15, whatever is the number. McCarthy.
Wow.
It's coming here.
We talked about him for like 6 months during the draft process because we're thinking maybe he slips.
I know. I'm just saying a lot, but
Lad with 2 D's.
McDuffie will be all over.
Lad McCarthy.
He's playing at a high level right now as a rookie. He's playing as a high level.
I told you, he's a hell of a route runner. He's having
a good rookie season.
He's doing what he did in college for 3 years.
Actually, maybe a little bit better than other first rounders.
So listen about this question real quick, guys. Honestly, no, they do not, because McDuffie plays on the inside and you put him on the outside. I don't trust Connor to be the slot guy. Johnson, Nazi be getting beat. Now we got Keith Taylor. I don't know.
He had a really good pass defense.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He has a different name and a different number. That's all.
That's what I'm saying. Put him out there.
Again, if he was that good, he would be playing. Right.
That's what I'm saying. So
they're giving him some snaps.
Gotta give him a shot. I don't trust this secondary at all going down the stretch.
Let me ask you this question. Right. Let me ask you this question, because I think this deserves more of your dialogue.
Okay.
If the pass rush is better, whether that's from Amenihue or Koloftis or Jones or Wharton or Dana, if the pass rush is better, how significantly better can the secondary become, despite some obvious shortcomings? But if the pass rush is there and the quarterback's having to do what Patrick Mahomes had to do against the Raiders, which was to go to a first read or be sacked, which didn't happen. But if the pass rush is better, then how do you grade that secondary?
If the pass rush is better, it's going to help them tremendously. I feel like they'll be decent because you're not asking much of them. If the pass rush is legit, but again, it's not. So you're going to see some guys getting exposed because they're like a pass rush. So it plays a helping hand just to have that type of pass rush. It pays dividends. So right now they don't have it, and so that's why you see the secondary getting beat the way they're getting beat.
Yeah. Well, they'll have a pretty good. They should have an interesting task on Sunday night against the Chargers.
That's going to be a good one. And that's the biggest part. I mean, you talk about complementary football, and that's part of it too. It's not just the offense, defense, special teams kind of playing as one. It's the defense being able to play as one. So if you don't have to cover as long, sure, it's going to be a little bit easier for them to do it. Now, can you quantify that? That remains to be seen. So, let's see, these pass rushers get to where they need to be. Linebackers communicating the way they were for the first 9 games or so, 10 games. And we'll see. So again, I think that what we need is there. They have it. They just have to
put it all together.
A lot of communication, I think, is everything a lot of those errors.
Yeah. From the front end to the back end. Front end to the back end.
So with that said, with the Chiefs, consider this ride, December success to the number 1 seed.
The Bills ride December success to number 1 seed.
With the Bills lurking, you got only the Bills. Nobody else. Everybody else is falling off.
Man.
I don't see the Chargers chasing them, catching them right now. I don't see the Baltimore. I probably don't see, to be honest. I don't think Baltimore Ravens make the playoffs. I think they probably get 2 more losses. I think they probably. I think they are probably gonna make it. You know what I mean? So
if they don't make the play, listen, they don't make the playoff. That's gonna be big. That's gonna be the biggest.
It ain't gonna be big. I think it's
when they play the Steelers again, that's gonna be huge. Yes. So that's all gonna work itself out. But in terms of this question, the Chiefs, I mean, you've got a couple of tough ones in there, several tough ones in there. They could certainly lose. They could lose them all, quite frankly. Are they going to lose them all? No, not at all. But going into Pittsburgh on Christmas Day, again, everybody's playing with the same conditions. But again, you've got that travel date in there, so they got that extra day. That's going to be. It may come down to that game. I think if they win that game, I believe they're the number 1 seed because certainly Buffalo, I think they might have a stumble here or there. They still have to play Detroit, depending how that game goes. So there's a lot still to be played, but it's there for them. I mean, it truly is. I mean, they've got the 1-game lead. If they keep winning, they get it.
Yeah, I think you're going to learn a lot about the Chiefs Sunday night against the Chargers. I think you're going to learn what makes this team tick. I think you're going to learn how significant they feel now, what it means to get their act together and to go out there and start playing better football and put more pressure on the AFC because everybody around the leagues thinks the Chiefs are beatable. If you listen to that loudmouth Rex Ryan, the Chiefs are trash. If you listen to a few other people, the Chiefs are bad.
With his fake team.
I know. They're still defending Super Bowls, back-to-back Super Bowl champions. And unfortunately, again, as I posted in my article this morning, you got to go. The reason they've had so much success is because they know how to win close games, but they also understand what everybody's trying to do against them, and they have to overcome it every Sunday or Monday or Thursday or Wednesday or Friday whenever they play.
I would like to say this. I think we're going to see the AFC Championship matchup this Sunday. I'm gonna go on record saying that because I think this is going to come down to the Chiefs.
Do you think it's going to be the Chargers?
The Chargers and the Chiefs is what I guarantee. Mark my words. Write that down, clip it, Mango. Put it in the.
I hope you're right. I don't think they have enough offensively. Without J.K. Dobbins, I don't think they can win.
I'm just saying.
And he's going to be out at least 4 games.
Your preview.
Man, that's crazy.
So you'll see. So they'll play a third time. Yeah, I mean, I was watching. I had the Chargers yesterday, so I was like watching the game. I mean, there's no way they should have won that game.
No,
I mean,
no business.
Cousins threw a bunch of picks and whatever. But again, situational football, they were right there. The only touchdown they scored was on a pick six, which again is a skill. The kid made a great play. Cousins made a horrible throw. But yeah, offensively, they're a little bit challenged because Quentin Johnston still isn't quite where he's supposed to be. He still has issues with dropping passes and maybe not being exactly where he needs to be. McConkey, God bless him for a rookie. I mean, he's pretty much, he and Joshua Palmer, but they really couldn't do it. And that's against Atlanta's defense. So it's hard to see them progressing, but with that coach and just, the kicker's really good and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So who knows? Maybe you'll be right, Hense.
It just, I mean, could they do it? He said, will they ride through December? First seed? I don't know, man. I don't know. Because Buffalo look good, man. Buffalo look good. Buffalo look good. Look damn good.
If you're doing, we didn't do the power rankings last week. The Cube. I don't think we did that on Friday.
No, the Cube having
but if you posted that up right now, you gotta believe, and I think truth be told, there's at least 4 teams, 3 for sure, that are playing better football than the Chiefs are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, does that mean that they can't win it all? Absolutely not. Yeah. You still have to play the games and finish. But if you're just looking at the way teams are playing, how they're kind of handling their success, you'd have to say teams like Buffalo and Green Bay and Philadelphia. Hell, I don't know if you put Minnesota in there. Probably not, just because of the quarterback. But yeah, I mean, it's right now. I can kind of see where some of these naysayers are coming from, and they're just looking to do their touchdown dance way before you get to the end zone because, oh my God, this is it. They're done. They're never never going to turn it around this year. So. So they let them have their fun and their say, and oh my God, they suck and everything else. Okay, we'll see what happens when the playoffs start.
Like I said, I don't see the Baltimore making it. It's going to be one of them back end teams that's still in the hunt. They'll probably sneak in. Other than that, I don't see And Buffalo.
But who's there? There's nobody on the back end.
No, unless the Bengals just go undefeated the rest of the way.
The only, Miami, but I just don't see them going on that kind of run because right now those back end teams are in the. Denver. We'll see what happens tonight. They play the Browns, but if they win that game, now all of a sudden they're at 8 wins, and then you've got the Chargers and the Ravens.
Yeah, you got the Colts.
That's the back end. The Colts are what, 6-7?
Yeah, Miami's 5-7. The Colts are 6-7. The Broncos are 7-5. The Ravens are 8-5. The Ravens have the tiebreaker over the Broncos, but right now,
so the order looks like might change. I don't know if any of those other teams, bump the teams that are in there right now.
Yeah, I don't see. It's either going to be Miami. Miami gets hot, or Indianapolis gets hot. Then
I say this is the most important game that Chiefs schedule right now, even though it's a division game.
Because it's the next one, Hense.
If they win, they will win the AFC West.
The most important game is always the next one.
Because they got the Buffalo, the bandwagoners, table busters, on the back of their heels right now. So
this is off topic, but has anybody talked to Travis Kelce since he walked off Friday? Any media members?
No, nobody. He's not talking. He's not talking to the local press right now.
Wow.
Because it's just hard to imagine it almost feels like it wasn't something that happened on the field.
No, this is from this. I think this all stems from the robbery. I think that really shook him, and I think it shook Mahomes. And we don't know how it's all going to unfurl, but he's dating the most popular woman in the world. He bought this beautiful house with all this security, and they just walked right in. And you know what? He's got a lot of pressure on himself. He's not the same Travis Kelce as we've seen in the past. He's going out there and doing his very best. And, I think part of this is just, I really don't want to talk to the press because I might say something that, may not be construed the right way. And,
so you
from
don't
a
think
local,
it was kind of just the lack of kind of like real targets in the second half of the game?
no, I don't think he cares about. He didn't care about that. If he cared about that, he would have played the last game of the year.
I don't know. I think he was pissed off. I think he was pissed off.
I thought it was because Tony Gonzalez was in the building and he wanted to get that touchdown.
He wanted that slam dunk.
I'm sure he would have loved
dunk
to do that, but it just
I
seems
I don't
like
think he cares about that.
but it just seems like for a few games in the critical situation. Now he had, he did have a few big in the first half. He had like 6 catches. I think he had all his catches in the first half.
Yeah, and he had a couple of drops. He ran the wrong route. He
against
didn't
the
run the right route.
He always runs the wrong route. So I don't think that's here or there. I mean,
I'm saying he doesn't care about breaking Tony's record. He doesn't care about.
I'm not talking about the record. I'm saying just to help them win. He sees, because more and more, I think in the big moments, it looks like, the ball's going to D-Hop, or it's going to Noah, or, it's going to Justin Watson, and some of those cases where he's thinking, wait a second, I've been the number one guy for so long. And I get it. He doesn't care about the stats, but at a certain point, you're a football player on the field. If you think that you can help the team win and we're not doing so well, you're going to get a little irritated, aren't you, if the ball's not coming your way?
I think he was flustered. I think he was flustered, man. I think he
that's why I like George.
He was upset the way the game turned out, guys. It's nothing more than that.
Do you see that? I mean, he wanted that catch though. He wanted that TD right.
But I think
Gonzalez, man.
But I think in his heart, he felt that if he was more involved, that it wouldn't have come down to that.
Correct. That's what he's upset about.
Right.
And I guarantee he'll say that on the show on Wednesday.
But somehow we've twisted it into George Pickens again.
No. He's not.
That's why I like George Pickens.
Listen, Travis Kelce has played for 11 years. He has given everything to this organization. For Chiefs fans, mark my words, at 2:52 on Monday, December 2nd. Enjoy Travis Kelce in December and January and February.
Well, nobody's not enjoying him. That just
he'll
seemed
show up. He'll be just fine.
That just seemed a little out of character.
He just was upset.
The GOAT was in the house, man. He let him down.
I'm sure he's been upset before.
Hey, he pulled a Kendrick Lamar and Lil Wayne. He said, "Man, I let Tony Gonzalez down." Man. He said,
to me, it just seemed a little out of character, because usually, even if he's pissed off, he'll go up to Brock Bowers and say, "Hey, give him some words.
He won
give him his props and some other guys."
God rest his soul. That's like Kobe playing and Jordan right there watching them play, and
just had a bad day at the office. That's all. He didn't want to stay on the field. That's it.
It was pretty good the first half.
But it's
he wanted the slam dunk, man. He didn't get the dunk. He didn't get the damn dunk, man.
But it's one guy that don't have a bad day at the office. It's Mr. Eric Haynes. Right?
That's right, Mr. Eric Haynes. He's sitting in his office right now. He's going through all his listings and all the possibilities. Yeah, watching this show. And all the possibilities for buying and selling a house in the greater Kansas City area. There's nobody better I trust than Mr. Eric Haynes. You can reach him 2 ways. You can call him by phone, 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
Another proud sponsor is my incredible wife, Emily Athan. If you're looking for a health insurance solution, whether that's a marketplace plan or a private option, there's nobody that understands the game better than my wife when it comes to Chiefs football, of course, but also with health insurance. So if you want a quote, if you want someone to analyze your plans and see what the best fit is for you, open enrollment will close on December 15th. But good news is she does have a private option, so she can help you out both directions. So give her a call at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
That's right, Emily. And our newest sponsor, Resell Electronics.
Emily.
Get the best deals on new and used electronics at Resell Electronics. TVs, laptops, Apple Watches, cameras, cell phones, plus so much more. And if you're into gaming, we carry new gen as well as vintage consoles. Resell Electronics and Independence.
That's right. Resell Electronics, your number one source to buy or sell consumer electronics in Kansas City. We've got 2 great locations on Nolan Road in Independence and also down on 40 Highway. Both locations have great deals. They will buy your old stuff. They'll sell you great value. It's Christmas time. You want to get some good presents. You want to get some nostalgic games, they've got it all. So check out their website at resellwithacelectronics.com.
Resell.
Electronics.
That's right. Resell indeed.
But hey, that was our show today. We had a lot of topics come in. I like the 6-pack. I enjoy the 6-packs every morning.
I like the cheese pizza too.
I like the gluten-free piece with no sauce.
Nothing like cracking a cold one on Monday
and biting right into the crust.
There were a lot of relief beers flowing after Friday's game. I can tell you that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Boy, we keep it healthy.
College was very interesting in on the watch. You know me. But again, guys, thank you guys for watching. We will be back Wednesday. Me, Lou, and Dre, because I think Nick will not be here.
I will be off that day. Yes.
So it'll be the 3 guys in the bar in case Mango probably join in. So it'll probably be 4 guys in the bar. So with that said, guys, we will see you guys Wednesday. And Chiefs.
Remember, you get this prize.
Yes, it's still a 3-2 lead for Kareem over
Yes, sir. Waiting on that concert. Waiting on that concert, man.
Plenty of time for someone else to sneak in and beat them both.
Yeah,
plenty of time. Wait on Nick.
Tune in.
Get the guitar and tune up that guitar, man, so we can see it.
Play the game.